The cold metal floor of the slave ship smelled like blood and fear. Sam Hartley opened his eyes slowly and felt the heavy chains around his wrists. His head was pounding from whatever drug they had used to knock him out. He remembered everything. The cargo run near the outer colonies. The strange ship that appeared from nowhere. The reptilian creatures that boarded his vessel and killed his crew before he could even reach for his weapon. Then darkness. Now he was here. Wherever here was. Sam sat up slowly and looked around. He was in a large holding cell with at least 50 other beings. Most of them were not human. They were creatures with fur, creatures with scales, creatures with too many eyes, and creatures with none at all. They all had one thing in common. They were all prisoners. A tall creature with blue skin and 4 arms sat next to him. It looked at Sam with something like pity in its eyes. "Another human," it said in broken English. "You will not last long. Humans never do." Sam did not answer. He was too busy studying his surroundings. The cell had 3 walls of solid metal and 1 wall of glowing energy bars. Beyond the bars, he could see a corridor where reptilian guards walked back and forth. They were tall, maybe 7 feet, with green scales and yellow eyes. They carried weapons that looked like a mix of blade and gun. The Varax, the blue creature said, following Sam's gaze. They rule this part of the galaxy. They take slaves from every world they conquer. We are nothing to them. Just labor. Just entertainment. Entertainment? Sam asked quietly. "The arena," another prisoner whispered. It was a small creature covered in gray fur with large ears like a fox. "They make us fight for their amusement. No one survives the arena for long." Sam nodded slowly but said nothing more. He watched the guards change shifts. He counted the seconds between each patrol. He noted which guard carried keys and which carried only weapons. He memorized the pattern of the energy bars and looked for any control panel nearby. The other prisoners saw a quiet, defeated human sitting in chains. They saw weak muscles and soft skin. They saw a creature with no claws, no fangs, no natural weapons of any kind. They saw prey. They did not see what Sam really was. Before the cargo runs, before the quiet life of a space pilot, Sam Hartley had been something else entirely. He had served 12 years as an Army Ranger. He had survived missions in places most people could not find on a map. He had been trained to endure, to adapt, and to overcome. He had been trained to wait, and waiting was what he did best. Hours passed. The guards brought food that looked like gray slime and water that tasted like metal. Sam ate everything. He would need his strength. Some prisoners refused to eat, too broken by despair to care about survival. Sam understood their pain, but he could not afford to share it. The small fox-like creature moved closer to him as the lights in the cell dimmed for what passed as night on this ship. "I am Pix," it said softly. "I saw you watching the guards. You are different from the other humans they have brought here." "How many other humans have you seen?" Sam asked. 7, Pix answered. They all cried. They all begged. They all died in the arena within days. But you have not cried. You have not begged. You just watch. Sam looked at the small creature. Pix could not have been more than a child in whatever species it belonged to. Its fur was dirty and matted, and there was a deep sadness in its large golden eyes. "Where is your family?" Sam asked. "Dead," Pix said simply. "The Varax killed them when they took our world. I am the last of my family." Sam felt something tighten in his chest. He had no family of his own. No wife, no children. Just a quiet life flying cargo between distant worlds. But he understood loss. He understood loneliness. "Stay close to me," Sam said quietly. "When the time comes, stay close." Pix looked confused. When what time comes? Before Sam could answer, The energy bars flickered and a squad of Vorax guards entered the cell. The lead guard was bigger than the others, with scars across his snout and cruel intelligence in his eyes. "Fresh meat inspection," the guard announced in a harsh, hissing voice. "The arena masters want new fighters. Let us see what we have." The guards moved through the prisoners, grabbing some and throwing others aside. When they reached Sam, the lead guard stopped and looked down at him with obvious contempt. "A human," the guard laughed. "Soft skin. Weak bones. No claws, no fangs. Your species is barely worth the food we waste on you." Sam said nothing. He kept his eyes down and his body still. He let them see exactly what they expected to see. A scared, helpless creature waiting to die. The guard grabbed Sam's arm and squeezed hard enough to leave bruises. Sam did not react. "This one goes to the arena," the guard decided. "The Grothic has not had fresh prey in days. This human should last at least a few seconds." The other guards laughed as they dragged Sam out of the cell. As he was pulled through the corridor, Sam caught one last glimpse of Pix watching him with wide, frightened eyes. Sam gave the small creature the tiniest nod. A promise. A message. This was not the end. This was just the beginning. The guards did not see the way Sam counted every step, every turn, every door they passed through. They did not see the way his eyes tracked every weapon, every weakness, every opportunity. The Vorax had conquered 100 worlds. They had enslaved 1,000 species. They believed they knew what predators looked like. They were about to learn how wrong they were. In the darkness of the slave ship, as the Vorax dragged him toward what they thought would be his death, Sam Hartley allowed himself a small, cold smile. They had no idea what they had captured. The day of the main event arrived. The arena was packed with more Vorax than Sam had ever seen. They had come from across the sector to watch the spectacle. High Commander Krell Vorath sat in his golden throne above the crowd, surrounded by his most loyal guards. Sam stood in the tunnel beneath the arena, waiting for his fight, but his mind was not on the battle ahead. It was on Kate, who was at this moment making her way through service corridors toward the main control room. It was on Pix and Gren and Tala, who were spreading the word to other prisoners. It was on the weapons cache 3 levels below that would soon be in their hands. Everything depended on the next few minutes. A guard shoved Sam toward the arena entrance. "Move, soft one. Your final fight awaits." Sam walked onto the sand. The crowd roared. On the other side of the arena, 3 gates opened instead of 1. 3 opponents emerged. The Vorax had decided to end his winning streak today. Sam looked up at Vorath. The High Commander was smiling. Then the lights went out. Complete darkness swallowed the arena. The roar of the crowd turned to screams of confusion and fear. The Vorax could see in low light, but total darkness blinded them as much as anyone else. Sam moved. He had counted his steps 100 times. He knew exactly where the guard tunnel was. While chaos erupted around him, he slipped through the darkness like a ghost and found the door. He found the guards who were fumbling for weapons they could not see. He took those weapons. The first guard died before he knew Sam was there. The second managed to hiss a warning that no one heard over the screaming crowd. The third tried to run and made it exactly 4 steps. Sam moved through the corridors with deadly purpose. Emergency lights flickered on and off, creating shadows that made the Vorax even more confused. They were used to hunting in open spaces, to overwhelming prey with numbers and strength. They had never fought in darkness against an enemy who knew every turn of the maze. Sam found the weapons cache. Gren was already there with a dozen other prisoners who had been freed in the chaos. They armed themselves quickly and quietly. "Kate?" Sam asked. "She is holding the control room," Gren reported, "but Vorax forces are closing in on her position." "Then we move now," Stick to the plan. 3 teams. Gren, you take the cells and free everyone. Tala, your team secures the ship bay. I will get Kate. They split up. Sam ran through corridors that were now filled with fighting. Prisoners who had been beaten and broken for years were rising up. They were not trained soldiers, but they had numbers and rage and something even more powerful. Sam found Kate barricaded in the control room with picks at her side. 6 Varax bodies lay on the floor outside. Kate was bleeding from a cut on her arm, but her eyes were fierce. Power is down across the whole facility, she reported. But I cannot keep them out forever. You do not have to, Sam said. The ships are almost ours. We need to move. They fought their way toward the ship bay. More Varax fell. Sam moved with a speed and brutality that shocked even his allies. This was not the calm, patient man they had known. This was the predator inside him, finally unleashed. They reached the ship bay to find Tala's team had succeeded. 3 Varax warships sat ready for launch. Prisoners were streaming aboard. Where is Vorath? Sam asked. He fled toward his personal ship, Tala replied. The far dock. Sam looked at Kate. Get everyone out. I have one more thing to do. Sam, there is no time. We need to leave now. I will be right behind you. Go. Kate hesitated, then nodded. She and Pix began organizing the escape while Sam ran toward the far dock. He found Vorath at the entrance to his personal ship. The High Commander was surrounded by 4 elite guards, but the fear in his yellow eyes was something new. Something that had never been there before. You, Vorath hissed. You did this. You were planning this from the beginning. From the first day, Sam agreed. Vorath drew his blade. I should have killed you when I had the chance. Yes, Sam said. You should have. The elite guards attacked. They were faster and better trained than the regular soldiers. But Sam had spent weeks watching them. He knew how they moved, how they thought, how they fought. He killed the first with his own blade. The second fell to a strike that crushed his throat. The third managed to wound Sam's shoulder before dying. The fourth tried to protect Vorath and died for his loyalty. Then it was just Sam and the High Commander. Vorath was a skilled fighter. He had conquered worlds and killed countless enemies. But he had never faced anything like Sam. Every strike was blocked. Every attack was countered. Slowly, inevitably, Sam drove him back. Finally, Marith fell to his knees, his blade knocked away, Sam's weapon at his throat. What are you? Vorath whispered. Sam leaned close. You looked at humans and saw prey. That was your last mistake. He did not kill Vorath. Instead, he took the High Commander's communication device and activated the broadcast channel. Attention all Varax forces, Sam said calmly. This facility has fallen. Your High Commander is defeated. Your slaves are free. And this is just the beginning. Spread the word to your empire. Tell them what happened here. Tell them that humans are coming. He dropped the device and walked away, leaving Vorath alive to deliver the message. The captured warships launched into the darkness of space, carrying hundreds of freed slaves to safety. Sam stood at the viewport and watched the Varax facility grow smaller behind them. The hunt had just begun. The arena was massive. Sam stood in a dark tunnel beneath the fighting ground and listened to the roar of thousands of Varax spectators above him. The sound shook the walls like thunder. The air smelled like blood and death. A guard shoved him forward. Move, human. The crowd is hungry for entertainment. Sam walked calmly into the light. The arena was a giant circle of sand surrounded by towering walls of metal. Above the walls, rows upon rows of Varax filled the stands. They screamed and hissed and stomped their feet. In the center of the highest platform sat a massive Varax wearing golden armor. His scales were darker than the others, almost black, and his eyes burned with cold intelligence. That is High Commander Krell Vorath, another prisoner had told Sam earlier. He rules this sector. He enjoys watching lesser species die. Sam filed that information away and focused on the arena dot on the far side of the sand. A gate opened with a grinding roar. Something huge emerged from the darkness. It was at least 10 feet tall, with 4 arms as thick as tree trunks. Its skin was gray and rough like stone, and its mouth was filled with teeth like broken glass. Small red eyes fixed on Sam with mindless hunger. The Grothuk. The crowd went wild. They knew what was coming. They had seen this beast kill dozens of prisoners. The fights usually lasted less than a minute. Sometimes less than 10 seconds. Sam stood perfectly still in the center of the arena. The Grothuk roared and charged. The ground shook with each step. 4 massive arms reached out to grab, to crush, to kill. Sam watched. He did not run away like every other prey creature the Grothuk had faced. Instead, he watched the beast move. He studied the way it favored its front left arms. He noted how its head turned slightly right when it lunged. He saw the blind spot. At the last possible second, Sam moved. He did not run backward. He ran forward, straight toward the charging monster. The Grothuk's arms swung at empty air where Sam should have been. Sam rolled under the beast's legs and came up behind it. The crowd fell silent. This was not how prey was supposed to behave. The Grothuk spun around, confused and angry. It roared again and swung all 4 arms in a wide arc. Sam ducked low and moved in close, too close for the long arms to reach him effectively. He drove his fist into the soft spot beneath the Grothuk's ribs. The beast howled in pain and stumbled back. Sam did not give it time to recover. He had spent years learning how to fight creatures bigger and stronger than himself. Size meant nothing if you knew where to strike. The Grothuk swung again. Sam caught one of its arms and used the beast's own momentum against it. He twisted hard, and the sound of breaking bone echoed through the suddenly quiet arena. The Grothuk screamed. One of its arms hung useless at its side. Sam did not stop. He could not afford to stop. He ripped the broken bone free as the creature collapsed, and before the Grothuk could rise, Sam drove the sharp end of the bone through the beast's skull. The Grothuk twitched once and lay still. Sam stood over the body, breathing hard but steady. His hands were covered in blood. His clothes were torn. But he was alive. The arena was completely silent. Thousands of Varaks stared down at the impossible sight. A human. A soft, weak, clawless human had just killed their undefeated champion. Then, slowly, High Commander Krell Vorath began to clap. The sound echoed through the silence like thunder. His yellow eyes were fixed on Sam with something new in them. Not contempt. Not amusement. Interest. Fascinating, Vorath said, his voice carrying across the arena through hidden speakers. Bring the human to me. Guards rushed onto the sand and surrounded Sam. They pointed weapons at him from every direction, but they did not come too close. There was fear in their eyes now. Fear that had not been there before. Sam let them lead him away without resistance. He had made his point. Now it was time to watch and wait again. They took him to a holding cell beneath the arena. This one was smaller than the slave ship but cleaner. A single window looked out onto the sand where servants were dragging away the Grothuk's body. Hours passed. Sam sat in silence and thought about what came next. He had survived the arena, but survival was not enough. He needed to escape. He needed to free the others. He needed to make the Varaks pay for every life they had taken. But first, he needed to understand his enemy. The cell door opened and 2 guards entered. Between them walked Krell Vorath himself. The High Commander was even more impressive up close. He moved with the confidence of a being who had never known defeat. You are not like the other humans, Vorath said. It was not a question. Sam met his gaze, but said nothing. Your species is classified as prey, Vorath continued. Soft bodies. Slow breeding. No natural weapons. Yet you killed my growth ache with your bare hands. This interests me. Maybe your classifications are wrong, Sam said quietly. Vorath's eyes narrowed. For a moment, something dangerous flickered in them. Then he laughed. Perhaps, he admitted. We shall see. You will fight again tomorrow. And the day after. I want to see what else you can do, human. I want to understand what you are. He turned and walked away. At the door, he paused. If you continue to win, perhaps we will have a longer conversation. If you lose, well, then you were just another prey creature after all. The door closed. Sam was alone again. He looked out the window at the arena. Tomorrow there would be another fight. Another chance to survive. Another chance to learn. The Varax wanted to understand what he was. They would get their answer soon enough. Sam closed his eyes and let his mind drift back to his training, to the lessons that had been carved into him through years of pain and discipline. The most dangerous predator was not the one with the biggest claws or the sharpest teeth. It was the one who waited, the one who planned, the one who never stopped coming. The Varax had no idea what they were dealing with, but they would learn. Weeks passed in the arena. Sam fought 12 more times and won 12 more victories. Each opponent was bigger, faster, or more deadly than the last. Each time, the Varax expected him to die. Each time, he proved them wrong. The crowd began to chant for him. They did not chant his name. They called him the Soft One as a joke at first. But the joke became something else. It became a title spoken with fear. Between fights, Sam was kept in a cell beneath the arena, but his conditions improved with each victory. Better food, clean water, a bed instead of cold floor. The Varax valued entertainment, and Sam had become their greatest show. He used every moment of freedom to learn. When they moved him through the facility, he memorized corridors. When guards talked near his cell, he listened. When other prisoners were brought nearby, he made contact. One day, they brought a new human to the cells. Her name was Kate Moran. She was tall with short brown hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. Before her capture, she had been an engineer on a colony ship. You are the one they call the Soft One, Kate said through the bars of her cell. I heard about you. Everyone has heard about you. Just Sam, he replied. How have you survived so long? Sam looked at her carefully. He had learned to read people in his years as a soldier. Kate was scared, but she was not broken. There was steel in her spine and fire in her eyes. I watch. I wait. I plan, he said simply. What did you do before they took you? I was chief engineer on the colony ship Hope's Light. I know machines, power systems, computer networks. She paused. I know how to break things. Sam felt something shift in his chest. For weeks, he had been gathering information. He knew the layout of the facility. He knew the guard rotations. He knew where the weapons were stored and where the ships were docked. But he had been missing one piece. He needed someone who could shut down the power. Can you disable a Varax energy grid? He asked quietly. Kate stared at him. You are planning something. I am planning everything. Before Kate could respond, guards arrived and dragged Sam away. High Commander Krell Vorath had summoned him again. They brought Sam to a bright room filled with strange machines and Varax scientists. Vorath stood in the center, watching as the scientists attached sensors to Sam's body. I have been studying your species, Vorath said. Your biology is fascinating. You have no claws, no venom, no armor. By every measure, you should be prey. Yet you keep winning. Maybe you measure wrong, Sam said. Vorath ignored the comment. My scientists have discovered something interesting. Your species sweats. Most prey species do not. Do you know what that means? Sam knew exactly what it meant. He had learned about it in survival training long ago. But he said nothing. It means you can run, Vorath continued. Not fast, but far. Your ancestors did not chase prey with speed. They followed it for hours, for days, until it collapsed from exhaustion. You are not built for quick kills. You are built for the long hunt. He leaned closer. You are persistence predators. Sam met Vorath's eyes without blinking. And there is more, Vorath said. Your brains are different. You can throw objects with extreme accuracy. You can predict where moving targets will be. You can solve complex problems under pressure. Alone, you are weak. But together, in groups, your species conquered your entire planet. We did, Sam agreed quietly. Vorath studied him for a long moment. You are more dangerous than we realized. Perhaps too dangerous to keep alive. Then kill me, Sam said calmly. But you will not learn anything new. Vorath laughed. It was a cold, empty sound. Not yet. You are still entertaining. And I still have questions. He waved his hand, and the guards took Sam back to his cell. That night, Sam made contact with other prisoners. There was Pix, the small fox-like creature who had befriended him on the slave ship. There was Gren, a massive four-armed blue alien with surprising gentleness. There was Tala, a silent creature with scales who could slip through spaces too small for anyone else. And there was him. Kate. Sam gathered them in whispers through cell walls and stolen moments in corridors. He told them about the guard rotations. He showed them maps drawn from memory on scraps of cloth. He explained where the weapons were kept and which doors led to the ship base. This is madness, Gren whispered. No one has ever escaped from a Varax facility. No one has ever tried the right way, Sam replied. We do not need to beat them in strength. We need to be smarter, faster, more willing to sacrifice everything. What do you need from me? Kate asked. The main event is in 3 days. Every Varax in the facility will be watching the arena. Security will be focused there. I need you to get to the main control room and kill the power. In the dark, the Varax will have trouble seeing, Pix realized. But so will we. Sam shook his head. Humans can adapt to darkness quickly. Our eyes adjust. And I've spent weeks memorizing every corridor in this place. I could walk it blind. The others were quiet. Then Kate spoke. You really think we can do this? Sam looked at each of them. These broken, beaten creatures who had given up hope long ago. He saw something new in their eyes now. Something that had not been there before. Fire. I do not think we can do this, Sam said. I know we can. The Varax see us as prey. They have never been hunted before. They do not know what it feels like. He paused and let the words sink in. In 3 days, we teach them. The news spread across the galaxy like fire. A single human had destroyed an unbreakable Varax facility. A single human had freed hundreds of slaves. A single human had defeated the high commander of an entire sector and walked away. The story grew with each telling. Some said the human had killed 1,000 Varax with his bare hands. Others said he could see in complete darkness. A few whispered that humans were not prey at all, but something far more dangerous. Something that had been hiding in plain sight. On the captured warship, Sam sat in the medical bay while Kate cleaned a wound on his shoulder. Pix was curled up asleep nearby, exhausted but safe for the first time in years. Does it hurt? Kate asked. I have had worse, Sam replied. Kate finished wrapping the bandage and sat back. What happens now? We have 3 warships, no supplies, and half a galaxy between us and human space. We find fuel. We find food. We keep moving until we reach the border. Sam paused. But first, we have a stop to make. Where? The Galactic Council station at Naris Prime. The Council needs to know what happened. And they need to know that humans are not prey. The journey to Naris Prime took 2 weeks. During that time, Sam worked with the freed slaves to organize the ships. Many of them had skills from their lives before capture. Engineers, pilots, doctors, soldiers. They had been broken by the Virax, but that spirit was returning now. Pigs followed Sam everywhere. The small creature had lost everything, but it had found something new. A purpose. A family. Will they listen? Pix asked one night. The Council? They ignored my people when the Virax came. They ignored everyone. They will listen now, Sam said. Fear has a way of opening ears. When they arrived at Naris Prime, the station authorities tried to stop them. 3 Virax warships appearing without warning caused panic. But Sam broadcast his message before they could fire. This is Sam Hartley of Earth. We are not here to attack. We are here to deliver a warning. The Virax Empire is weaker than you think. Their slaves are rising. And humanity stands ready to help anyone who wants to fight back. The Council agreed to meet. The chamber was enormous. Representatives from dozens of species sat in rows that curved around a central speaking platform. Sam stood there alone, still wearing the torn clothes from his escape, still carrying the scars from his fights. You claim to have destroyed a Virax facility, the council speaker said. It was a tall being with silver skin and 3 eyes, with only escaped slaves and captured weapons. I do not claim it. I did it. The Virax have conquered 100 worlds. They have the largest military in this sector. How could one human accomplish what entire armies have failed to do? Sam looked around the chamber. He saw doubt in many faces, fear in others, disbelief in most. Because you have been fighting them the wrong way, he said. You meet them on open battlefields where their numbers and strength matter. You try to match their power with your own. That is not how humans fight. Then how do humans fight? Another representative asked. We adapt. We endure. We find weaknesses and exploit them. We do not need to be stronger than our enemies. We just need to never stop coming. Sam paused. On our world, we hunted animals 10 times our size. We did not kill them with claws or fangs. We chased them until they collapsed from exhaustion. We are persistent predators. We do not give up, ever. The chamber was silent. The Virax thought I was prey because I have soft skin and no natural weapons. They put me in their arena expecting me to die. I killed everything they sent against me. Then I killed my way to freedom. Sam stepped forward. Humanity is not a prey species. We never were. And now the galaxy knows it. The council deliberated for 3 days. In the end, they agreed to open contact with human space. They agreed to share intelligence about Virax movements. They agreed that something had changed. Word continued to spread. On Virax slave worlds, prisoners who had heard the story began to resist. Small rebellions broke out, then larger ones. The empire that seemed unbreakable began to show cracks. High Commander Krelvarth sent a final transmission before disappearing from public view. It was intercepted by Council intelligence and shared across the galaxy. To all Virax forces, the human species has been reclassified. They are no longer to be considered prey. They are apex predators of the highest threat level. Do not engage unless absolutely necessary. Do not capture. Do not underestimate. The soft ones are more dangerous than anything we have ever faced. Sam never saw that message. By then, he was already on his way back to human space. The journey home took another month. When they finally crossed into the border region, Sam stood at the viewport, and watched familiar stars appear. Kate stood beside him. "What will you do now?" "I do not know," Sam admitted. "I was just a cargo pilot before all this. I wanted a quiet life. You could have that. After everything you have done, you could disappear and live in peace." Sam thought about it. He thought about the small apartment waiting for him on Earth, the simple routine of cargo runs and quiet nights, the life he had built after leaving the military. Then he thought about Pix, sleeping in the next room, about the hundreds of freed slaves who were starting new lives because of what they had done, about the rebellion spreading across Vorax space. "Maybe someday," he said finally, "but not yet. There is still work to do." Kate smiled. "I was hoping you would say that." A small hand tugged at Sam's sleeve. Pix had woken up and wandered over, still rubbing sleep from its large golden eyes. "Are we home?" Pix asked. Sam looked at the small creature that had lost everything and found the courage to fight anyway. He looked at Kate, who had risked her life to help slaves she had never met. He thought about what home really meant. "Yeah," he said softly. "We are home." The ship crossed into human space as the stars shone around them. Behind them, an empire trembled. Ahead of them, a future waited to be built, and across the galaxy, in council chambers and military headquarters and slave quarters, beings of every species told the story of the human who had refused to be prey. They had called him soft. They had called him weak. They had called him prey. They would never make that mistake again.